Is sugar hiding in your food? Like, is it in there and you don't realize it? I'm not talking like fruit sugars or sugar that's in your dairy, like in your milk and stuff like that. I am talking about added sugar. Is there added sugar in the foods that you're eating and you don't even know it? Hi, I am Coach Bev, or Beverly Schlag, and I am going to share with you guys a little bit today about that, about hidden sugars. I know that for the most part, we as a society have grown awareness to the fact that we need to limit the amount of sugar that we have, that we're eating every single day. So we're starting to look at the labels. And we're starting to read the labels of our foods. We're not just looking at the nutrition facts, but we're actually physically looking at the ingredient list. And when we're doing that, we're noticing that where the sugar is. Well, manufacturers have gotten wise on that. And so they have actually started to tweak names of things so that they're not as identifiable. High fructose corn syrup was a big one. It was turned to HFCS, and then recently, I don't know, in the last year, they switched it over to, I believe it was corn, not corn syrup, but corn sugar. It's still high fructose corn syrup, but they've changed the names. But another thing is not only have they just changed the names, but there are just so many types of sugars in our food. And we may not even recognize them as being a sugar because we didn't know that there was such a thing. Kind of like if you're looking at a label and you see something like dextrose or maltodextrin, maltose, or sorbitol, those are all names of sugars. And I mean, like when you're looking at a label, you know, in foods that you would think, okay, why would we need sugar in just tomatoes, like in a can of tomatoes? What is the necessity for the sugar in there? Well, there's sugar in it. There's added sugar in it, not just the sugar that naturally occurs in the tomatoes. Another one that shocked me was beans. Not baked beans, regular old canned beans that, you know, they have sugar in them. Not all of them, but some of them do. And in our household, we kind of have to avoid that because, well, we just do in general, but because of our son with his sensitivity to sugars, we read every single label because we can't trust that something won't have sugar. And another one is if you see something that's low fat, chances are it's going to be higher in added sugars because they need to add something in there to make it taste better because they've removed all the fat or a lot of the fat. But another thing is I was going to show you guys, big thing with processed foods. You'll see on labels that that, like, you know, they list the ingredients by what is in it the most to what is in it the least. So, you know, they actually do it by weight. But so if you see something, if you see on your ingredient label that sugar is up high in that, then there's a pretty good amount of sugar in that particular item. Things that you may not even realize, like crackers, these actually are really, they have no sugar in them. I don't know that you can actually see it because it's backwards, but they don't have any sugar in them. But whereas these, they have sugar. It is the 1, 2, 3, the third thing on the label is sugar. It is brown sugar. So, you know, I mean, there is sugar hiding in your food that you may not be aware of. So on today's blog, I'm going to share more about that. I'm going to share 57 names of sugar that are commonly seen on food labels today. And I'm also going to share about some of the more common foods that you may not really think have a whole lot of sugar in them, or may not have sugar in them at all, but they in fact are high in sugar, or they do have some sugar in them. And I'm listing 20 of those. So I'm also just going to share just a little bit more about all of that information. But that's pretty much it, you guys. I know that we're all trying to be more health conscious in today's world, and we're trying to limit our sugars, but sometimes it takes a little bit more than just flipping over a box and reading a label. Sometimes we have to educate ourselves even further on what these names of these different types of sugars are that we're actually looking for. And it can be really frustrating. I know that is kind of my experience since we've had to eliminate sugars with our youngest. And it's frustrating because it seems like sugar is everywhere. And it really truly is. But there are options out there to limit your sugar and to even pretty much almost reduce it to just what you're getting from your whole foods. All right, well, I will be posting that blog later on today. And if you have missed any of the others in this series, you can scroll back and check the Facebook feed, or you can go to beverlyschlag.com and check out the other 2 blogs in the series on sugar. And I would love to hear your feedback on the information that I just shared. If you knew about all the different types of sugars, comment below and let me know. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.